Have you ever wondered about the hidden origins of the universe? Not just the Big Bang, but the spiritual source of everything. Ancient Gnostic traditions offer a fascinating and profound cosmology, a map of the divine that challenges many conventional ideas. Let's journey together into this mystical world, starting at the very beginning, with the ultimate source of all being. In Gnosticism, this source is often called the One, the Monad, or the Ineffable One. Picture it as a boundless, infinite light, a state of absolute unity and the invisible wellspring from which everything flows. This isn't a bearded figure in the sky, but a pure, unmanifested consciousness. From this ultimate source emanates what is known as the pleroma. The word is Greek for fullness or completeness. The pleroma is the realm of divine fullness, the totality of all divine powers, intelligences and archetypes that exist beyond our material world. It's not just some far-off heaven we hope to reach. In the Gnostic view, the pleroma is the true origin and eternal home of our very soul. Within this realm of fullness exist the aeons. Think of aeons as divine emanations, spiritual beings, or intelligent forces that are an outpouring from the divine source. They are like rays of light from the central sun. Together, these aeons constitute the entirety of the pleroma. The term aeon also carries the meaning of an infinite circle, an eternity illuminated by divine reason, or logos. One of the most well-known Gnostic systems, from the teacher Valentinus, organized these emanations with beautiful symmetry. He described a total of 30 aeons, structured into 3 groups: the ogdoad, which means a group of 8, the duodecad, a group of 12, and the decad, a group of 10. This structure represents a divine pattern, a cosmic harmony unfolding from the singular One. As the divine mystery of the One unfolds, it often reveals itself as a family, a trinity that is quite different from the one you might be familiar with. In classic Scythian Gnosticism, a major branch of this ancient wisdom, the ultimate divinity is seen as a trinity of the Father, the Mother, and the Child. The Father is the invisible spirit, the unknowable source we've already discussed. But the first to emerge from this source is the Divine Mother known as Barbelo. She is the first thought or pronoia of the invisible spirit. Barbelo is an incredibly powerful figure, often seen as the ultimate savior and enlightener, the womb of all creation. Some texts even suggest that the physical body of Jesus originated from her. The name Barbelo itself is a mystery. Scholars speculate it could be Semitic, meaning God in 4 powers, or perhaps it's related to the Hebrew root for Babel, hinting at a primordial divine confusion before order. From the union of the father and mother comes the child, the self-begotten one, also called autogenes. But there's another key term here, monogenes. This Greek word means only begotten. It represents the unique, pure archetype of the Logos, or divine reason. The monogenes is the very first emanation of the unmanifested Godhead, the first distinct being to emerge from the silent mystery. This figure is often directly associated with Christos, the Anointed One. This brings us to the messianic and divine titles that are central to Gnostic teachings. These aren't just names, they are descriptions of cosmic functions and spiritual realities. Let's start with Christ, or Christos. This is a Greek term that simply means Anointed One or Messiah. In Gnosticism, Christ is rarely just a historical person. More often, Christ is a spiritual principle, a divine aspect that was united with the man Jesus. In many Sethian and Valentinian texts, Christ is a distinct and powerful aeon, a divine being from the pleroma, who descends to the material world to bring enlightenment, or gnosis. Closely linked to Christ is the concept of the Logos. Christ is the Logos. Logos means the word in Greek, but it's so much more than that. It is the divine word burning in the fire of creation, the divine utterance, the creative sound that brings all form into being. The Logos, often called the Son, was the first to emerge from the silent Father. The philosopher Philo of Alexandria, who bridged Greek and Hebrew thought, defined the Logos as the chief source of all the powers of God, the very reflection of God in the created world. Another powerful title you'll find in Gnostic texts is the Standing One. In Greek it's ho Hestos. This title, often applied to Christ or to the first Gnostic teacher, Simon Magus, signifies something profound. It implies unwavering authority, immortality, and divinity. To be the standing one means you are eternally stable and unchanging, a recognized intermediary who stands firmly between the divine world and humanity, bridging the two realms. It's a mark of supreme spiritual attainment. Finally, we have the sons of God. This term has a dual meaning in Gnostic thought. On one hand, it refers to the spiritual descendants of a holy lineage, the seed of Seth. Gnostic initiates, through their spiritual awakening, were taught to leave behind their worldly fathers, who were seen as the archons, the lesser rulers of the material world, so they could be reborn and made sons of the first mystery forever. They become spiritual heirs to the divine realm. But there's a darker interpretation too, tied to the famous passage in Genesis. The biblical sons of God, who took human wives, are often identified in Gnostic myths with the angels of the first ruler, the demiurge. In this view, these beings were not divine messengers, but lesser powers who came down and trapped human souls further in material enslavement through their desires. This rich and complex cosmology, from the ineffable one to the pleroma, through the divine family and the mission of Christ the Logos, paints a picture of a universe filled with meaning, a spiritual drama in which our own souls play a central part. It tells us that we are not from this world, but that our true home is in the realm of light, and the path back is through knowledge, through gnosis. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into Gnostic cosmology. If you found this fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more explorations into the world's hidden wisdom. See you next time.